Hell of a way to make a UFC debut for my next guest is Josh Quinlan, who earned a big knockout this past weekend at UFC San Diego. How's it going, Josh?
It's going good, Curtis. Having a great week, and glad to be back in the flow of training, and just very appreciative of the victory and the result of the fight.
And we talked a little bit off the air. You mentioned that you're already back in the gym, man. So what's the energy back in the gym after that win?
It's good, they put me actually on a 1 week suspension, so not doing too much training, but I am back in the gym, kind of just being in that environment, and just getting a lot of great support, getting a lot of great congratulations for the fight, and giving God all the glory and directing it to the one above.
Absolutely, man. Well, first off, I kind of just want to get your first thoughts on your performance. Obviously, get the big knockout over a really experienced guy in Jason Witt, really tough opponent. How would you evaluate your performance?
I would evaluate my performance as doing the best I could at that moment, and there was adjustments that could be made in the future that I could get better in. But I'm very grateful for the outcome and just the training that led up to this fight was able to come into play during the fight. So that's all we can ask. We can train hard and be focused, but sometimes whether we get in our own way mentally or maybe physically not being at our best, but during the fight, I was mentally sound, physically ready, and everything came together that night. And I'm very grateful for the result, and couldn't ask for a better outcome.
Yeah, how gratifying is that when when you put the hours in camp and all the tough training sessions, and then you go out there and put on a performance like that? I guess what are the emotions like afterwards?
It's a nice, fulfilling feeling, but even if the result wasn't like that, even if it was maybe not a victory or maybe less than a spectacular result, if I felt like I did my best in there, then I'd be grateful for that. I was grateful for the opportunity to fight. It was you know at first it wasn't as clear if I was gonna fight, but I was putting in God's hands. God gave me the opportunity. God put me in this position, and I was grateful to shine His light at that moment and continue being a good example for His strength and grace. So just gratitude and just grateful for just allowing Him to use me.
What was going through your mind as you made that walk to the octagon? Obviously, with your UFC debut, there's probably a lot of emotions involved. You hear the crowd going crazy during your fight, before, after, and during. What was that whole experience like?
And even when I was back in the locker room, it was kind of a surreal moment. I wasn't trying to look around and kind of take out different energies in. I was staying focused on the task at hand. Um, Even though it was a bigger stage, even though it was one of the bigger stages in my martial arts career, I was focused on, just another fight, just another opponent, maybe a higher level opponent, but I believe I became a higher level competitor as well. And I was looking forward to perform. I put in the work. My coach pushed me on a daily basis, whether it be my striking or my cardio or my mental. So I was happy to be able to represent or be able to show the hard work that I put in, and it was just a great moment. I wasn't trying to look around and see the crowd. I was kind of looking down, kind of just thinking about what I had to do, thinking about the different scenarios that could come into play. I didn't know it was going to be a first round finish, but it might have been a 3 round grind like the co-main event that night. So we have to be ready for all aspects and all scenarios,
Mhm.
but we just look forward to doing our best and take advantage of the opportunity that presents itself.
What was your mental preparation like for this fight specifically? Because let's be honest, man, you've been through a tough last year or so, obviously with the suspension, the delayed UFC debut, getting pushed back a week. I guess how were you able to, keep your head straight and focus up on the task at hand?
That's a good question. I believe, just like my coach says, 90% of this game is mental. Everybody's physically sharp, everybody's physically capable of, doing damage, finishing the opponent across from you. But to be able to be confident in this techniques, be able to execute the things that you've been doing on a daily basis, that takes a really mental focus and quieting everything else around you. And my focus was doing my best. My coach really preaches that. It really emphasizes doing your best. It's not about having a certain expectation or shooting for a certain result. If we do our best, that allows God to work in the moment. And I believe He manifested that victory that night. And just continuing to focus on what you're capable of, what's in your hands to control. There's things out of our control, just like my fight that got postponed in Las Vegas. That was out of my control, but what was in my control is how I reacted to it and where I went from there. I was At first, when I got the news, I was devastated. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit emotional, that I felt like I lost the opportunity. I lost the ability to, showcase my hard work, showcase, you know, I felt like a good platform to showcase what God provided me, the skills that He and gifts He's blessed me with. But after the fact, I was able to regroup and think, try to come from a heart of gratitude. I was so grateful for all the support I was going into that fight. I was grateful for my coach investing his time and energy into getting me ready for that opportunity. And I've done a lot of growth, not just on the mats with my techniques. I've did a lot of growth personally, overcoming vices, setting them down, knowing that that's not for me, and that doesn't benefit me, and just staying humble and developing the mindset that, doing my best on a daily basis. We can always build up that certain moment, like, oh, the fight's going to be my moment to shine. But if you can shine on a daily basis, if you can do your best in each moment, waking up with a good heart, doing your best in each training, being, pushing yourself. Nobody can push you more than you push yourself. You challenge yourself. You don't just go through the motions. So that's what I was focusing on. And I was grateful for the growth that I've had through the fight camp. So that's what I focus on, and just heart of gratitude. I think that overcomes any other situations.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the honesty. Talking about your knockout specifically, I believe if I remember correctly, it looked like you countered it off of a kick attempt from him. So was that kind of an opening that you and your team saw during this camp and preparing for this one?
I did do some fight analysis on my opponent, but it wasn't a focus of mine. I focused on what I was capable of. I was focused on the techniques I wanted to develop. My coach Michael Costa and Steve Pellegrino, they did do some research on my opponent, and they saw that, yeah, he was dropping his hand a little bit when he would attack and such. So we did develop some techniques to counter that right hand drop. So that was actually a technique we repped throughout the fight camp. I believe I did over 100 reps of that technique. So, and it wasn't a fancy technique. My coach was saying, it doesn't take a fancy technique. It doesn't take, something that you have to be all fancy with. It takes something that's maybe in the more basic, but something that you rep day after day, rep after rep, and you develop a confidence that if it connects, then it would do damage. So I was just having faith in the process, faith in the techniques that my coaches provided, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for just being a good example of hard work that manifested itself.
And well, let's talk a little bit about what's next, man. What's your post fight routine usually like? Do you like taking a week or two off to kind of get your mind right, or do you one of those people that likes to get right back in the gym as soon as possible? What's kind of the plan for these next couple weeks?
Honestly, I'm the kind of guy that gets right back in the gym after the competition. You know, if I'm feeling healthy, you know, right back on the grind. If I did have an injury, I would work around it or give it its time. But you know, there's no time to waste. It's a new day. You know, I'm not gonna ponder or soak in the victory. You know, one day is more than enough to soak in the victory. Even maybe that day, you know, enjoying that time and that Saturday. But you know, Sunday I was back, kind of regrouping, unpacking, and my coach does emphasize that, or does talk to me about that. You know, it's a new day to do our best, and opportunity to get better. So I'm glad. It's just I'm glad I'm able to do what I love and get better at it and see growth in the process. And there's the growth happens in challenging times. You know, you have to challenge yourself in the training and put yourself in challenging moments. And I'm glad I have coaches around me that provide me trainings that push me, that sharpen me up, and good teammates as well. So just right back on the horse and another step on the journey.
And then obviously when you're not training and you're not in camp and all that, what do you like to do with your free time to kind of take your mind off things and de-stress? Or are you a Netflix guy? What do you like to do in your free time?
That's a good question. You know, there's, you know, throughout the fight week, I'm pretty consistent and focused on that. But I like, you know, relaxing. The way I relax is just maybe having some good food, or you know, journaling. I like to reflect on the process or how my life's going, and you know, maybe the change of environment, but nothing too specific. I don't like traveling too much or going on hikes or anything. I like kind of staying in the groove, but just being able to have that grace period, being able to just relax after a hard week of training, and just spending time with friends, maybe reading a good book, maybe sipping on some coffee with my coach, and just soaking in some good knowledge to you know, chew on and stuff. And my coach always provides me something good with that, and you know, feeding the mind as well as feeding the body.
Absolutely, man. That's what life's all about. Obviously, a couple days after the fight, but is there a time frame for your return? Do you have a specific card that you're looking at, or a time that you would like to get back in there?
No specific time. You know, I'm glad I was able to get a good debut and a good result in that process. But I'm gonna let my fight management group find me another opportunity. That is a Iridium Sports Agency. They've always had the best, you know, had my best intentions in mind, and I'm glad that I have them backing me in that support. I'm just going to be back to getting better, sharpening up on my skills, making adjustments, and if not by the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year. But you know, I was telling another interviewer that the fight is a challenge. The fight is a part of the process, but that, you know, that's not the process. That's not the main thing I'm focused on. I'm focused
Mm.
on getting better as a martial artist. I'm focused on growing myself, you know, my technique as well as my mind, you know, being able to be humble, be able to be sharp. You know, I know my athleticism is at a good peak right now, but you know, there's techniques that overcome that, trump that. There's techniques that, you know, when athleticism fails you, as what my coach Casey says, when athleticism isn't there, you have to focus on your technique and those things that that can overcome fatigue and stuff. So I'll focus on being sharp. There's always room for improvement. I'm glad I have coaches that provide me with the right technique and the right mindset to grow.
Absolutely, man. And I'm sure the fans are looking forward to seeing you back in there. Last question for me. What's your message to UFC fans after your win? And what do you want UFC fans to know about Josh Quinlan?
That's a great question. For the fans out there, I appreciate all the support, and I want them to know that, you can as well. You can do it as well. Whatever you want to do, set your mind to it, and just do it for the right intentions. Put God at the center. See what He called you to do, and don't second guess it. Continue to have faith in the process and allow Him to use you. That's what I did with my gifts that God has given me, the path that He set me on. I allow him to use me. He can use a guy, MMA martial artist, and he can use whoever, maybe a father, maybe a different type of worker in a different profession. So just, be open to how God can use you, and He'll make great things happen.
Well said, my man. Well, before we go here, I'll give you the floor to shout out any sponsors, your team, any of that good stuff. I'll give you the final word.
Thank you, brother Curtis. I'd like to shout out Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that gives us opportunities, gives us our life, and challenges us. And these challenges are there for us to grow, and also blesses us with amazing moments that just affirms our path, or directs us to another. So I'm very appreciative of that. Shout out to my martial arts teams, Vanderlei Silva's gym, also known as Milestone Martial Arts, and 10th Planet Henderson with Coach Casey, and Silverback MMA with Coach Steve Pellegrino. I love all my coaches. I love all my teammates, not just my MMA teammates, but teammates that come in the gym and do their best. They don't have to be fighters to, encourage me, as long as people around me doing their best. That gives me my energy, and that gives me the opportunity to do my best. And we reciprocate that energy. And shout out to all my friends and family in Las Vegas, in Hawaii, and all around the world. God bless everybody. And let's make the world a better place.
Absolutely, man. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Josh, for the time. It was great to meet you. Great to chat with you. And I'm sure this will be the first of many times we chat in the future, man. And congrats again on the win. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation, Curtis. You have a great day.